Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. I am your host. My name is Brandon, and joining me today, I have Ills.
Yo.
And I got Noah.
It's me.
So, guys, how we doing today?
I am sick.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm getting through it. Don't worry.
Well, you know,
And I'm tired because we hadn't.
Do I need to feed you some Master Flesh? Maybe you feel better.
Oh,
you got a
please
curse?
do. Yeah.
What about you, Noah?
Doing great. A little bit tired because we had an awesome weekend.
That's true. We did. We're at Anime Boston. It was really fun, but we're back here for the game club. Wouldn't be anywhere else if I had the choice, because I love playing video games. And we played a video game this week, and I alluded to it a little bit. If you ever played this game, it is called Pandora's Tower on the Nintendo Wii. Or just, is it the Nintendo Wii or the Wii? I think it's just the Wii, the official branding, so I don't want to...
Who gives a fuck?
Same thing.
I mean...
No, Muzzy's somewhere crying if I said the wrong one.
Fuck that. Nintendo Wii.
So yeah, this game was on the Wii. I think it got released on the Virtual Console on the Wii U. Not Virtual Console, but you know how they release Wii games on the Wii U, so you can play it that way, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, digital.
Yeah. And so this game was famously part of the trio of games known from Operation Rainfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
These
sir.
3 games... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it was Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and Pandora's Tower.
Yep.
And this was famously, well, I don't know about famously, but this is the one I heard about the least. So this is the one that I was most interested in playing.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I wanted to know why it was included with those other 2 heavily lauded games.
Right. So like those were the 3 huge games part of it, but this was definitely the one. You're right that people talked about the least. Xenoblade was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And Last Story was also pretty big in terms of, if you don't know what Operation Rainfall is, it was 3 games that never got localized. Only 3 RPGs that came out in Japan. That Nintendo really seemingly didn't have any plans to ever localize and bring over to Europe and the United States. So Operation Rainfall, just a bunch of really passionate fans behind it who just, did everything they could to bring attention to the fact that these games were really good and should be released outside of Japan. And it worked. These games eventually got released. All 3 of them did.
Thank the fans.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest, cases of fans just an outcry and a game getting released outside of its native
3
region.
games.
So three games even, yeah. Which
3
is really
RPGs, no less.
Yep.
So it's a lot of localization work.
I'm
Right.
I'm super happy if fucking Xenoblade made it over. Same with Pandora's Tower, honestly.
Cool. Right. Yeah, and
I
mean,
don't know
and they
about
did-
Last Story yet, but yeah, we'll get
I
around to
haven't
that
played
one.
Last Story either. And Xenoblade famously did extremely well, well outside of Japan. So Nintendo's probably very happy, thankful for the fans that they did that. So
And it has a very high representation on our list.
It does, definitely does.
Rightfully so.
And now it's represented in Super Smash Brothers, and Xenoblade 2 sold a lot of copies on the Switch. So maybe Xenoblade 2 never happened. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right, if that never happened. So thank you, Operation Rainfall. So definitely appreciative of everything that happened with that. So this game was released in 2011, May 26, 2011 in Japan. Eventually came out April 2012 in Australia and Europe. And then North America did not get this game until April 2013. North America, we had to wait a while for this game to come out. And also, it was not published by Nintendo in North America. In Japan and PAL regions, it was published by Nintendo. But in North America, it was published by Xseed Games. And it was developed by Ganbarion. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. This company is famous, honestly, for a lot of licensed games, like anime licensed titles. They did like the Jump Ultimate Stars game on the DS, like fighting games, and they did a lot of One Piece games, like One Piece Unlimited Adventures and One Piece Grand Battle, like that kind of stuff.
Nice.
They also did Dragon Ball Fusions, that crazy, insane Dragon Ball 3DS game where every single Dragon Ball character could basically fuse together.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember that game.
Yeah, the game was fucking wild. So yeah, they've worked on a lot of. This was like the first original IP I think they did was Pandora's Tower. They wanted to just step outside and do their own thing there. So
Wow,
they did
for their first tries, pretty good.
It is pretty good. So you picked this game, Ills, and I kind of want to know, like, I know you mentioned a little bit more, but like, why did you pick this game besides, that you were curious about it because of the Operation Rainfall? Was there any other reasons?
I mean, the curiosity was the main thing, and also I bought it based on that curiosity, but I never got around to playing it. So, I mean, Game Club's perfect place for that.
Yeah. I actually already had this game too because I kind of did the same thing as you. I wanted to support all three of the Operation Rainfall games, so I bought all three of them. I made it a point.
Too. Yeah.
But I had never got around to it either. So I'm glad you did because honestly, knowing me, I probably fucking might have never got around to it. I'm terrible.
I mean, it's an RPG, so already it's gonna take a long time, like a big investment. So it's hard to get into when it's gonna take a big investment.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
A lot of those times when you have a game like that, you hesitate to start it.
You're right, because you know what you're getting yourself into, and you don't know it's a time sinker, and that's why I love the Game Club though, because it forces me, it gives me a reason to finally do it, and then I'm rarely disappointed, although I am disappointed sometimes, but this isn't the case
because we discover some pretty unique games.
Man,
Oh yeah.
It's the risk you take sometimes when you play, but it's really satisfying to me when you finally play a game that
that's a true gem. Yeah,
that you never would have got around to otherwise because of the Game Club, and that's why I love it so much.
Same.
So Pandora's Tower is an action RPG. We mentioned not turn-based, so it's an action RPG, and you play as Aaron as the main character.
Yep.
And there's basically three characters in this game. You have Aaron, you have Elena, and you have Mavda. I think is it Mavda?
Yeah. Mavda, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to call her Mazda, but that's the name of a car. Mazda's little old lady, and Aaron and Elena are romantically involved. And
yeah, it's you never really see this too much in games where you're already in the middle of a relationship.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you don't. So it's unique. It's definitely unique, and so they already have their own backstory behind them. They're already romantically involved. I guess dating. They're not married or anything, but they're in love with each other. And one day, Elena's at singing at a festival, and just this darkness hits. This mark appears on her back, and
she becomes cursed.
She's
cursed. Basically cursed. Yeah,
and I can't remember exactly what was happening. Like stuff was like destroying the city.
She was.
She was okay. It was like the main cutscene, the first cutscene in the game. So I was like having a hard time remembering it because it was a couple weeks ago.
Basically, you learn throughout the course of the game that the curse basically turns her into a monster.
Yeah. So she's cursed. The military's after Elena, and they see Aaron help her escape, so they're running after you, and
so they become fugitive basically.
Yeah, and you run into Mavda, this little old lady who her husband is attached to her back and is very odd, but you trust her right away because she helps you escape, and she explains to you that the only way to reverse the curse, because Elena's turning into a monster a little bit.
Yeah, permanently turning into a monster.
Yeah, permanently. She said the only way to reverse it is to feed her the master flesh of 12 different monsters that are located in these towers. And these towers are all connected on this floating island, basically, that's all connected to chains. That's in a giant hole, and the hole is called the Scar.
Right.
And these towers were basically like military testing facilities, from what I gathered for the story.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and these monsters were like weapons. But anyway, you had to kill them all. It's up to Aaron at that point to go in the towers, kill the monsters, bring back the flesh. Elena has to eat it, and it will stop the curse. It just will get rid of it completely. Only if she eats all 12 of the master flesh. So while playing the game, like I mentioned, it's an action RPG. But when you're in the towers, you're on a time limit because there's a countdown going on the bottom left corner of the screen. While you're in there, it's constantly going down, and Elena's that bar represents Elena's
transformation.
Her transformation. Her turning into a monster. So you have to, while you're going through the tower, you don't find master flesh, but you find other, like, as you kill monsters, you find more flesh.
Yeah, like strips and
beast flesh, dripping flesh. There's different like varieties of it that will refill the timer more. So you have to bring that flesh to her. You have to leave the tower, bring it to her, have her eat it. It will refill the bar so you can go back in. So there's like a time management thing that you have to do while you're exploring these towers.
Yeah, usually there's enough time to go through the whole tower and beat the boss before it like completely runs out. But well, maybe not in the later ones, but like at least in the first couple of towers it is. And but basically you don't want that to happen because every time she transforms, you kind of lose. They kind of fucks up their
affinity
romance.
Meter. There's an affinity meter as well. That on the left side of the screen, while you're in the observatory, where you guys are, so you're hiding out in an observatory right next to the scar. In the towers, and you have an affinity. So this is where the game is kind of weird because it's an action RPG, but it's almost also mixed with like a dating simulator.
Yeah, it's like this is your home hub. This is where you rest. You interact with Elena, and I really like the interaction, like bad parts with Aaron and Elena. It actually feels like genuine, and you have like all these different discussions with her. You give her gifts that increases your affinity, and like the higher the affinity, the more cutscenes it unlocks, and you actually get to see like what the real connection is between the two.
Yeah, the game does this surprisingly well. Like this relationship between Elena and Aaron is like probably one of the best I've seen in a long time.
It's a good love story
in a video game. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, in a video game.
It just seems so real, you know. And in Elena's characters, honestly, she's very good. She's really well written, and she is really apathetic towards the whole situation, you know, because she's turning into a monster, and you're risking your life to save her, but that's not going unnoticed to her, you know. She's constantly worried about you, and you know, even kind of feels selfish at points, and it's really good, man. You really
can't say the same about Aaron. I felt nothing for Aaron.
Well, Aaron
he's not a really well done character.
He's the player character, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a player, but
kind of a stand-in, really.
A little,
stoic.
I love the connection between the two, but as the main, like as a character, like on his own, is just like, ugh. But anyway.
I don't know, because he has some moments. Like, I want to say, there was this one moment, like, really early in the game that I thought established their relationship really well. Where, I don't know, I'm sure you guys did this. You found the lamp. Right?
Yeah.
In the basement.
I found the lamp,
And you gave it to her as a gift.
Yeah.
And she's like, it triggers, like, this small cutscene where she's, like, admiring the lamp. And Aaron has, like, his hands, his cheek on his hands. He's kind of laying there watching her. And you see it, like, he derives pleasure from her being happy. Like it's a really good establishing moment. Like I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but
I mean
no, like I said, like the connection between the two was genuine. Like you felt it. Like it was very well portrayed. But just like Aaron as like a character, as a personality more, I didn't like him. You know?
Yeah, he was a little bland, but like I don't know, just Elena herself was so good, and you can just tell. And like her voice acting and in the writing that she really cared about Aaron, like even more than like fucking herself sometimes. You know, she was, and it was really good. You didn't want to let her down. You did not.
Yeah, the game does a really good job of making you care about her.
Yes,
like she just makes you like you feel so bad for her, like when she's suffering. Like you never want that to happen.
Oh my God, it's awful. Because if you let it happen, so if you let her transform, you know, at the beginning. So the beginning of the game, I did the first tower with one run through, right? and she didn't transform. I just kind of did it. It's really easy. But the second tower, I thought, I'll do the same thing. Bad idea, because when I was fighting the second boss, the meter was getting really low. Like, it was to the point where it was red, and it was like almost like a heartbeat, and the screen was kind of like doing like a blinking, and I was like, oh god, oh no, I gotta hurry up. And like, I was stressing trying to beat the boss, and then I did, and I get there, and Elena has herself, there's like all this purple like ooze or blood or whatever it is, like you could see a trail of it going into one of the side rooms there, like the observatory,
like in the basement, right?
In the basement. And you follow it, and you go in there, and she's got a cloak over her with a hood, and she's embarrassed of what she looks like.
Yeah,
and
she's just like huddled and like quarantining herself
in the corner. And dude, I felt awful. I was like, no. I was like, never again. Never will I let this happen to you ever again.
She transformed. Yeah, sorry, go on.
So yeah, I made it a point. If it was even getting close to her transforming, because she has like, there's like, it goes from white to blue to red. And I let it get in that red, and I was like, never again. I won't even let it get in the blue. Now, I just refuse.
Yeah, and oh man, the game does like a really good job of like giving you these stakes. Like, because even when you like let her transform, like some people might think, okay, all right, it's just a video game, nothing really changes. But that's not true, because if you give her gifts, like she'll wear them. But if you let her transform too far, the gifts will break, and then she'll feel sorry about it, and like
she feels terrible about it. Like I gave her a bracelet, and the bracelet broke, and you had to get it repaired, and you give it back to her, and even then she's like makes her happy, but she's also like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll never let this happen again. I don't want this. I won't let it break. I feel terrible. Why did you fix it? Like, I broke this gift. She feels terrible about it.
Yeah.
And I felt
like,
terrible.
It's completely not up to her, but she's like, oh, I'm gonna try my best. And I'm like, damn, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And the gifts that you give her too are it's great, because you give her a ring, you give her a bracelet, you give her new clothing. She wears that stuff, and she's super appreciative of it. You give her a rug or a painting, and she hangs the painting up. She spreads the rug out. She puts the plants. She plants the flowers. That stuff like aesthetically changes the room, which is super fucking cool as well.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they added more so you can dress up the observatory a little bit more, but.
Yeah, it's not a ton, but it is cool though that she, talks about how happy she is that she's decorating the place. And there's times too, you walk in, she's cooking dinner, and then even then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a terrible cook, like, but I'll keep practicing."
Yeah, she's just like really nice all the time.
Yeah, she is really nice. And also, it's interesting because like her, I guess it's not a race, but like. Well, actually, I think it's like all the humans in that game. Like they don't eat meat.
No, so, I think it's her culture.
Her culture. Okay, that's more accurate. Yeah. So her culture, like nobody eats meat. So when she has to eat like the beast flesh from the monsters, it's essentially just meat. And so it's like it's extra hard for her because first it's like meat from a monster. It's fucking disgusting. But also it's like it goes against everything she knows and like grew up with as well. So it's like extra torturous to her, but she has to do it every time she wants to like refill the meter and prevent her from becoming a monster. And it's like you feel super bad every time she has to eat it.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. I mean, you feel bad even at the end, but at the beginning, like she really hates eating that stuff, and it looks so gross because it's just like a hunk of like purple flesh. I'm like, oh my god, it's disgusting. And then she's like almost throwing up. But then later on, like you see her like starting to like it.
Yeah,
and
that's
that feels
you feel
worse.
bad too.
Yeah,
that feels worse.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because she doesn't like it, and she shouldn't be like loving it as much as she does, but it's the curse. And she's literally like licking her lips when she bites it. At that point, you give it to her, and she's like, oh, like eating it like a fucking savage, and like. Yeah, she's like, you got any more for me? Yeah. She's like, you got more? You got some more meat? Please, hand it over. And you're just like, whoa, hold on, calm down. Like, and you feel really bad.
And I think Aaron's personality shines a little bit more in these parts. Maybe I don't think Noah got to these, but like,
I did.
He's just like shocked, like he's like taken aback by her. He's like watching over, like when she sleeps, he's like watching her.
Yeah.
make sure like nothing fucked up is happening. Like it's fucked, man.
He doesn't get that much sleep because he's watching her because he feels bad and she's having nightmares. And I love the whole. I don't know if you got this like little story arc too with like, oh, did you, like when you talk to her, she's like, did you hear something in the night last night? I'm scared.
Yeah, I got that.
She thinks it's a ghost and then just ends up being like a mouse.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Man.
And this is all just like one small part of the game too.
Well,
like,
I wouldn't
call it small,
well,
but
you know what I mean. Like,
This is the
like,
heart of the game, but not the gameplay. This is the heart of the story.
Gameplay. The story, yes. So like I said, it's a half action RPG, half I almost call it a dating simulator because you give her gifts, you talk to her and stuff, and like you know how those games go where you have like a meter that you got to fill up by just doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
It's similar to that. You know, you buy gifts. Mavda, by the way, she's basically she acts as the shopkeeper. That's where you like buy gifts. You can buy gifts, upgrade your weapons, craft new things, including gifts, weapons, items, stuff like that. So she's just always one room away. You just basically knock on the door and she comes out. And
yeah, she's like I always had like I always want to like discover her like background and everything, like with the story behind her. Like she's from a shaman tribe or like
the
culture.
Vestra. The Vestra.
Yeah, Vestra, that's the one. So like they kind of have all like not really magical powers, but they're very knowledgeable. So like that she's the one that knows all about the curse and like helps them figure out what to do and all that jazz. It's pretty cool. And I love the old man that she carries, or basically her husband. It's like just carries him around in this giant backpack / cauldron. And he's just like, at first I thought he was just like a dead skeleton, but apparently not.
No, he's alive, but he can't really talk, and like the subtitles always just show like a bunch of like random like symbols, and he's just always like,
It's a super
funny.
weird design. Like I thought she was evil like the whole game.
Oh yeah.
And she's not though. She had pure intentions the whole entire time, but the game makes it kind of seem it like, oh, should I trust Mavda? And
I was always suspicious. I was always suspicious of her, like constantly.
They definitely mean you to be suspicious because I was suspicious of her to the end.
Yeah, and Elena mentions it, and she like asks, Aaron, like, do you trust Mavda? Like, she's always like staring at me from her room, and she, I don't know, like, why'd she help us? Like, she's suspicious too. The characters are, so it leads you to be like, well, I don't know, but no, at the end of the game, she's there helping you out. So
she does give little hints that she's actually genuine, like happy to see that we're helping Elena so much too. So it's like it's both. It goes both ways.
She actually have something to gain from it. You find out kind of near the end.
Yeah.
But basically, you do see like that she's actually genuinely pleased that you're helping each other out.
Yes.
So
she wants to help you, but she also has something to gain from it as well.
Yeah, and she does that she gives you one of the main weapons in the game called the Heracles chain. And that's basically what you use to, do most of anything in the game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Everything except like basic fighting you do with your regular weapons, your sword, your 2 daggers, your scythe.
I think there's only 3 weapons.
Yeah, but like fighting the bosses or doing a lot of the environment puzzles require the chain basically.
Yeah.
So
And the chain is a cool.
I really like the chain mechanic like a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can like chain up enemies so you can attack them and they can't attack back. So, again, some enemies are immune to that, so whatever.
And
you can tie 2
enemies together.
I was about to say,
attack them both.
Yeah.
You could chain a small enemy and just swing them around the room and throw them across. I did that with the birds constantly. Every time I see like a flying bird like hovering around, I can't reach him with it. I was like, get over here. Threw a fucking chain, just threw him off the cliff. It's so fucking satisfying.
Very satisfying
really
to
useful.
huck 'em. Yeah.
You could just shoot them with the chain, so it just like it's like an instant hit.
Yeah. Every time I broke a chain, I would always just shoot it.
Yeah.
Because you have to open the boss doors, you have to break these giant chains that are like holding it shut. And every time I would enter the room, you'd have to run over to break the chain. I would just shoot it with the chain, my chain, to break it.
A lot of chains.
Yeah,
Lots of chains going on in the game.
I like chains.
But so when you go to these towers, these are like the meat of the game, the actual gameplay, and that's your objective. Each tower is you just have to get to the boss, How do you get to the boss? You have to explore the tower, destroy the chains that are holding the door shut, and then go to the door and fight and kill the boss.
Right.
That's it. That's your main objective. It gets a little bit, like the first tower is 1 chain, then you get 2. You get a couple more with 2. You get a few with 3, and then the last 3 towers have 4 each.
I think it's the last 2 towers, like Dusk and Dawn. I think.
No, the one before that had.
Does it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it did. Had 4 as well. But yeah, so they increase it each time, which means you're gonna have the more chains you have to break. One, it gets longer and harder to find these because the towers are getting bigger, and more chains to break just means that's more often you have to make sure you're getting through the tower and getting back in time to feed Elena some more meat. You have to make sure you find meat as well, because sometimes I would be like, oh no, I'd be like, oh, I gotta get back to Elena. Oh fuck, I don't have meat to give her. Yeah. And then I'm panicking. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. You kill a bad guy that could have one, and he doesn't fucking drop it.
Yeah, that was almost like every time I went to a tower, the first thing I would do was try to find flesh to make sure I was covered.
Yeah. Right, when you have to get back. But sometimes you find just beast flesh, which doesn't give her that much meter back.
Yeah, but it's better than anything. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it is better than nothing.
And you also have little other items, I forgot what it was, that can teleport you back to the observatory instantly instead of having to run all the way back.
Yeah, the Shard of Divinity.
Yeah, that one.
Right.
Those are super useful. Oh my god.
So when you get to the end of the game, you fucking need that. But they do, through the towers, give you little parts where you get to unlock kind of shortcuts, knock down ladders or break open doors that were locked from the back that let you get through the tower faster.
Yeah. Definitely appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's so useful. But
because otherwise I would going up the second tower. I was just like, oh, I have to walk all the way back. Wait a minute, I just jumped down, and that's when I realized there's fall damage. I almost died. I literally my health bar was just 2, went from 80% to fucking 20. I was like, oh shit.
You can negate almost all the fall damage if you tap A.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I didn't notice that.
You can do a little roll. I think it tells you at some point.
I never noticed.
Oh no, you know what? It doesn't tell you. You have to read it in the instructions.
Oh damn.
In the notes, if you press start, you get notes as you go through the game, like Resident Evil style, that give you backstory and stuff, or give you tips on how to beat the boss on the tower that you're in. And yeah, I was reading through all the instruction ones, the tutorial ones at the beginning of the game, and one of them said that you can basically reduce all your fall damage by tapping A as you fall.
Nice.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
I would have been jumping off more cliffs.
Because there's some parts where you can fall real fucking far.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you. Some of the towers, especially the clock tower one, which is cool, but the second one that you go to, there's parts where you have to really climb.
Yeah, I really like those clock tower ones. Those are my favorites.
Them too. So
it reminded me so much of Castlevania.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fuck.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's different. So when you go to the first one's a grass one, there's different themes to these towers too.
Your basic elements, basically.
It's all a forest. The first one with grass. The second one's more rock spire with a lot of ores in it. Yeah. The third one's
water.
Yeah. Fourth one's fire. The fifth one's metal. And then you do it all over again.
Yeah, then you have five more. That when you do the first 5, you have to do them in order, and the next 5 just all unlock at the same time, and you can do them in any order you want. But I just did them in the order that they were showing up on.
Right, but it's the same 5 elements.
Same exact 5 elements, almost the same layouts in a couple of them. You're I swear to God, I did this already.
Yeah, they're more advanced versions of the older ones, basically.
Yeah. So when you get to the last 2, it's really interesting.
So question, because I didn't get as far as you guys basically beat it. There were some locked doors in the first and second tower, but I couldn't find any of the keys to unlock them. Do you find them or make them, and then you go back, and what do you find?
I never found them.
You do not find them at all. In fact, New Game Plus, they give you the key to go back
okay.
To get through those doors.
Well, I feel
shit, and I was looking like a fucking maniac to find that before I went to the boss. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. No, you get those keys after you beat the game.
Oh, well, fuck.
Well, that's a fucking tease.
Yeah, it's annoying because you just like run through the hallway all the way down. And you're like, oh, there's a locked door here.
What do you even find? Like, what do you?
I don't know. I just know that's how you get it. I looked it up online because I was like, what the fuck is this?
I wonder if there's extra cutscenes.
I don't know, because after I beat the game, I mean, I beat it like really late Wednesday night, and like it was at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I really need to go to bed. Like, this is my last day to play it, so I was like dying. So I didn't try to redo it.
Yeah, but the dungeons themselves, I feel like, are sort of like Zelda-ish. Like,
Yeah,
the goal is basically just to get through the dungeon. There aren't like explicit puzzles in most of them. But
it's more of like a puzzle. The puzzle is mainly like just to try and navigate through the dungeon.
It's like environmental stuff,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, none of them are too tough. Some of the towers are easy to get lost in. I got a little confused when I got to the end of the game, but
Oh yeah, like
it,
a lot of
the last 2 towers, man.
Oh yeah, the Dusk Dawn towers are like they can get really confusing at the beginning.
Yes,
You have no
yeah.
fucking idea what to do. But
Yeah.
then slowly you get the gist, and then you start to appreciate how well designed it is.
Yeah, it was really cool because you teleport between both of them, and they're basically mirrored versions of each other.
Yeah,
And they have like one where you can't. There'll be something blocking your path in one, so you transport to the other, walk past it, and then transport back, and you're on the other side of it.
right.
Which is like it's like really. I really liked that. It was interesting.
Also, you had to use these consumable items to like open like portals.
You can open your own portals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. Like it was a nice twist from the stuff that you faced, the other 10 towers before it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, it switched up. And, okay, so, like, the thing I liked the most about this game, besides, I liked Elena in the whole character development the most. Second thing I liked the most was definitely the bosses. The bosses were really cool to me. Some of them were... I don't know. I really liked them. You had figuring out their weaknesses. Some of them were a pain in my fucking ass.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like some of them are just really fucking annoying.
Yes,
Especially knowing that you don't have that much time left. Like
that's
fucking die already.
the worst. Yeah, that was awful. Because I always tried to make sure I had a full meter before I fought a boss.
Hell yeah.
Because if you don't, man, you're fucked. You are fucked.
You're just
Because
gonna
some
be
of these
panicking
bosses-
the whole time. Cold
Yeah,
sweats and
later
everything.
on, these bosses take fucking forever to kill. There was the one that kept like you have to get on his back and then like you have to climb up his leg and then climb
Oh
onto
fuck
his back.
that guy! Oh my god, I hated that guy so much.
It took me so long to realize that you could shoot his legs to slow him down.
Right.
And I was like, I wasted so much time because he keeps climbing the wall to make you fall off his back.
I hated
like-
that shit. Like,
Yeah.
why couldn't he did that so fast? Like, you can barely get any damage off.
That's the thing, though. I realized, like, fucking 3/4 of the way through the fight, he had little gems on the back of each leg. So you get up there, you quickly just rip open the gems on each leg, and he just is, like, slow and he can't move. And then you can do a full damage on him.
Jeez.
I didn't realize that shit until I wasted so much time.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's-
God damn it,
Oh
dude.
man, it's rough.
Yeah, and then there was another boss that, like, it was like a photosynthesis like boss because like it was a plant monster that there was light coming down on one spot and it had armor and you have to like destroy its armor by like attacking it. Like it would just like start like wilting and then eventually turn brown and you get to see its like master flesh open up.
Right.
But if it would run once it was damaged, it would run to the fucking light and just like turn green again.
Yeah, it just heal up. So
Yeah,
you have
and
to,
it was
like,
so annoying.
You had to tie him up to one of the posts using the chain.
Yeah,
You had to shoot the chain to the post and then tie it up to him.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a pain in the ass.
but you'd have to like fucking pull him out of the light.
Oh my god.
It was so annoying.
And it was kind of unresponsive, that guy. Like, when trying to pull him out was no easy task. Like,
No.
he wouldn't move.
Not at all. No, it sucked.
Yeah.
But that being said, those bosses both really pissed me off. The rest of them weren't that bad. Like, especially early on, I thought the bosses were really cool, trying to figure out how to figure out. Basically, you have to pull the master flesh out, and that's their health bar. Is like you have to whittle away with your chain trying to pull that master flesh out. And some of the bosses will hide the master flesh, and you have to figure out how to get it exposed.
Yeah,
be able to pull it out.
It's interesting. Like in the main dungeon, you use your main weapons like most, but during a boss fight, you almost never use your main weapon. It's like only the chain.
Only a few bosses where you have to use your main weapon to dwindle away at their armor or something.
Right, yeah.
Like I said, like the photosynthesis thing, or that boss, the plant monster. There was another one too that I can't think of right now.
But the main gimmick, the main way you did damage was the chain.
Yeah, the chain. You had to pull the chain, build up your chain meter, which in the regular fight didn't really matter at all. Like with the scythe. Once I got the scythe, man, I just powered that thing up. I was wrecking things.
That scythe was glorious.
Yeah,
I'm so sad I never got the scythe.
And you could basically once I got like halfway through the game, I remembered that you could hold down A to like do a powered attack.
Oh yeah.
And then like if you after you do that, a little like circle appears, and if you press A at the same time, you could keep like a combo going.
Right.
And you just do that like 2 or 3 times to a dude. It's some of the biggest, baddest monsters in there.
Yeah.
You will fucking absolutely wreck them. They won't even have a chance to attack.
Yeah.
There'd be like cutscenes where they first introduce like, oh, here comes a real badass dude. And you're just like, all right, chain him up, fucking charge attack like 3 or 4 times because the last hit would always knock them down.
Right.
I would just wreck dudes.
Yeah.
And then I'd get to the bosses, and it was like you couldn't do that. Everything was switched up.
Yeah. It's funny, like the combat is very hack and slash.
It's not that good.
There's not a lot of depth to it, but it's surprisingly like satisfying.
A little bit.
Like using
cool.
using your weapons is surprising. Like hitting them with the weapons is surprisingly satisfying.
The scythe definitely. I love that thing. It was cool.
Yeah,
I powered that thing up like almost all the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got to like level 9.
I want to mention though, as you're going through the towers, if you take damage, which you will, especially during the boss fights, you will fucking definitely take damage during the boss fights. There's something that happens. Your equipment gets damaged and it breaks.
Okay? Yeah, I didn't like that.
This pisses me off. It's probably my least favorite thing in this whole game.
Yeah, it was quite annoying, especially because the money's kind of scarce in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're spending all your money to try and get gifts, and then you barely have any money to like get any equipment, and you finally get equipment. I was like, okay, and then it breaks. Like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that gives you the most money is finding notes, but like everything else is like not that much. It's trying to buy materials to like upgrade your weapons or like unlock new items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because
you also have to buy stuff for Elena too. You can't just ignore that. So there's a lot of stuff you have to buy.
Yeah, and there's a pretty robust crafting system. You know, it requires a lot of components and stuff. You just have to spend money on that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you can run out of money super fast. Like, man, and then having stuff break on top of that, like you'll be done. You have nothing.
Once I found out that you can break, your equipment can break, I'm like, I'm never buying equipment. Whatever I find. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you can repair it, and it takes a big chunk. But I think the most important thing is that putting all your items into the chest inside the observatory. That way, like, they won't break. They can't.
That's what I would always do. Every time I'd come back, if I would keep like a couple potions, maybe like one one of the things that let you warp out.
Yeah.
But other than that, dude, I would empty all of my crafting items. You would just fucking empty that shit right into the trunk. The only thing was, I legitimately picked up fucking items that were already broken sometimes. I was like, are you kidding me with this shit?
I mean, like, it didn't happen that often, right? It was like once or twice.
But still. Like, I couldn't believe it when I first killed an enemy and picked up an item and that shit was already broken. It was like an elixir. I was like, fuck you. Now if I want to get the full use out of this, I gotta pay for it? Like, it was like, this pissed me off.
And, I mean, you're already spending a lot of money on other things, so I can see how that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you could still use the elixir, it just won't be as powerful.
It won't be as powerful, yeah, it's still. Like, your main item can fucking break.
Yeah, your main equipment.
Like, your scythe can break.
Your scythe can break? Damn it.
Yes!
What the fuck? Really?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
what
and then it's just not as powerful anymore. You have to fucking fix it. It broke in the middle of a boss fight on me once.
I had no idea it could break. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
It's like middle of a boss fight, and I was like, open my menu, and I was like, are you kidding me? This fucking shit's broken?
Oh man, that's brutal.
Did it cost a lot to repair it?
I think so. It was like $500 or something, which isn't like a lot, but it kind of is. When like, come on, dude, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. I didn't...
That was like my least favorite like aspect of the game was the breaking stuff.
Yeah, same.
To me, the controls were my second least favorite thing. Like it wasn't bad, but sometimes with the IR, I get really frustrated with the Wii remote. Luckily, there was waggle. The only waggle that they had was like to pull your chain when you're on an enemy. Well, luckily, that's the only waggle, which for the most part was responsive. There was a couple times where I was like, come on, when I was trying to break it fast enough, because some bosses you have to do it quick. Like, they'll send an attack down the chain that you have to break it quick before it hits to you. And there was a time where like I got hit by it because I was trying to wait till the last second because I want to do as much damage as possible. But when I did it, it was a little lag and I ended up getting hit, you know? And like, come on. Like, I shook the fucking controller before it came to me, but it has that latency lag with waggle like it always does. So
yeah,
that was a little frustrating. But other than that,
one of the things I didn't like was that the fixed camera angles were a little bit too strict sometimes.
Yeah, that's
like I don't understand why they made it so strict. Like they give you like a fake zoom in with the whip, but it doesn't actually change the angle of your shot. You just zoom in a little bit. Like,
yeah, and it slows down time.
Yeah,
too.
And you can't see what's around you, even though you should be able to. It's I don't know why they did that, but
sometimes the camera angle sucked, and like during the boss, the one I was talking about earlier, that grass boss, those pillars that you had to chain him to, get in the fucking way.
Oh jeez.
In that boss, did you have that problem too?
No, I never did.
No, there was times where the camera would just like moving around that room and just get completely behind the pillar, and I couldn't see what was going on, and I was getting I was probably already frustrated at that point, so the little things were really pissing me off.
Right.
But
well, the thing that bothered me was that like there are like hook shot points where you're supposed to attach the chain to.
Yeah.
But like you can't see them unless you're in a certain place in the fucking tower, even though you're in the same room. Like you should be able to see them logically. You should be able to first person angle shot them or whatever the fuck. But I don't know why they. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was too hard or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I will say I mean, I liked the graphics in this game. I thought they looked pretty good for the
they
time.
hold up.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. I think they were.
The thing that was really really good was the cutscenes, the hand drawn cutscenes. Like after every Master Flesh.
Yeah, after you feed Elena a Master Flesh, you get that cutscene where she's like seeing these visions.
Yeah, those were really pretty. Like they kind of blew me away.
Mm-hmm. They were cool, and most of the cutscenes I think were in the in-game engine. I think there was only like some CG cutscenes at the beginning and end of the game.
Right.
So that was cool too. That I always prefer games to use the in-game engine for cutscenes for the most part. Nowadays, I guess like back in like PS1, it made more sense to do it the other way around. But nowadays it looks better to me that way.
I'll say this about the story, the overarching story, like the one in the background. Like it's so, it's really hard to like follow. Like
like
it almost doesn't matter at all. Like there's like this whole grand story behind
with
all
the military and the war.
The military, the war, this long history of the continent or whatever the fuck.
Aaron was a soldier.
Yeah,
he was an enemy soldier.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're supposed to care about any of this shit. Like,
we only care about Elena and Aaron. That's all. We don't care about.
That's the only thing that matters. So I was a little bit surprised that they even added like any emphasis to that at all. But I guess I don't know.
It's a little backstory of where they came from. Like we literally know nothing about these characters except that they're in love when we start. So
I preferred more. I liked like hearing or seeing about like how Aaron met Elena. Like, oh, he was an enemy soldier and they found him unconscious or whatever, and Elena was like, oh, we need to save this guy, and everybody was like hesitant in the village, like, oh, well, he's enemy. Like, I don't know, I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's the backstory that mattered to me, not the other, not the other
shit, not the reasons for the war, and not not the different tribes and what was going on between. I was like, whatever. The reason why the scar existed. I mean, I guess they needed to put that in there.
They didn't. I don't think they did.
No,
I don't think they did.
Well, I guess the reason for the scar to exist, I guess
You could just leave it up to somebody's imagination. You don't need to know.
That's true.
Honestly,
that's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Just focus on the main characters because they're the ones that matter. They're the ones you care about.
You know what? I agree.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a big critique or anything. It's just just something to talk about.
It's a good point though. I'm glad you brought it up because it is a good point. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, and it's honestly kind of confusing to follow.
It is, yeah.
The way they present it too. You have to read all the notes and like.
Yeah, most of it is presented in the notes.
Yeah, you read notes and then the cutscene like story, the thing. So the overarching thing too at the end, we're gonna go on spoilers here. So I don't know if you want to play the game, maybe try to skip ahead a little bit because I want to talk about the end of the game real quick.
Damn, we're doing spoiler warnings now? Since when?
Hey, I don't know. This game. I feel like this game is worth it. I don't know for me at least.
Okay, I will zone out a bit.
Oh damn! Why?
For me, yeah, I don't know. See, Noah cares. But at the end of the game, you find out like the curse that happened to Elena was actually just going after Aaron.
Yeah.
And it was like in love with Aaron.
Yeah, because it afflicted the mother of his descendant, of his great descendant or whatever, or not descendant, the other one, ancestor. Fuck.
Ancestor.
God, I'm
yeah.
so dumb. Yeah, so like his great ancestor or whatever was like the mother of that person, and she was like the 13th. I don't know. Whatever the fuck they're called, like the biological weapon, the master
person there, master beast that they were experimenting on.
Yeah. So she was like directing the curse towards Elena because she had some connection to Aaron.
Yeah, she was the closest person to Aaron, so that's why the curse you went after her, specifically chose her. And, also, I mean, it's kind of cool because you feel like now you're like, oh shit, the only reason Elena's in trouble is because of Aaron.
Yeah, that just makes you feel all the more shitty.
Yeah. Like, poor Elena. My God.
Oh,
nicest person in the whole fucking world.
Best waifu.
Yeah, really, for real. And she had nothing to do with it. She just got dragged into it because she was in love with this guy. Like, it's crazy. And then, but, he did everything he could to save her.
Oh, yeah. And if you got the good ending, then you did everything.
Then you do save her, which I'm gonna assume. I meant to go back, and I even said I was gonna do it. Watch the other endings, which I didn't do. But I'm gonna assume because there's a part. The last boss fight, super fucking cool, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's like the best boss fight in the game, for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. The music was fucking awesome as fuck. I mentioned it like in the chat to you, like. Elena is a singer, and she like sings this song throughout the game, and the last boss fight is just like a harmonized version of that song. Mm-hmm. And it hyped me up, man. When I was fighting, I was like, yes, do it. Like, it just reminded me like why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And like Elena, part of her was still in that monster because you're fighting the curse, the beast, but Elena's like still in there.
Yeah, she's fully transformed at this point. After you feed her all the master flesh, she's fully transformed into her, greatest demonic state or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And like she's at the height of the 13th tower, and you go find her, and then that song comes on, and like the setting is super bright. It's like you're in the middle of a grove. Like it's a complete change from like the dreariness of the towers. It's like
it's like a 180 there.
Yeah, it's like so surprising. Like it's such like a bright setting, but then it's super dark because you're fighting Elena, and like she has all these crazy powers, and she looks super demonic. Cool. Yeah, she looks really good.
And then when you save her, you have to like Ocarina of fucking Time was just the first thing I thought of, right? Because you're running down the tower with Elena,
right,
trying to escape because the monster you beat it, but then all of a sudden here, boom, hey, I got a more fucking demonic monster, even worse, right? And at that point, I was like, come on, dog. I thought I had to fight something else, and I was like, that was kind of hard. Why the fuck am I gonna have to do this? But no, you don't. You just basically have to run away. But there's a last part where the monster tries to, get its last hurrah and grab Aaron. and I think ends up grabbing Elena.
Right. And you gotta do the slow motion targeting, like win back 2.
Like Winback, yeah, exactly. Like Winback 2. I wonder if because luckily I got her right. I didn't miss her.
Right.
And grab the chain. Her and the monster both are falling off the side of the tower, and you grab her with the chain to pull her back up. And you have to do a slow motion target to point and grab her. I wonder, one, if you can miss her. I don't even want to know.
I don't want to know either.
I want to know at the same time. And two, I wonder if you got one of the worst endings, if it just has you don't even get that chance and she just falls. I don't know.
I think the next worst ending is that you both die.
Oh no!
I think that's
awful.
how it goes. You both die together.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I think this game has 4 different endings.
6
too.
Well,
it's 6.
Well, I think it's 5, but 6 is if you let the thing go all the way down.
If you just get the game over because you let the bar go, but then you can just continue the game at that point.
Right.
So it's it shows what happens, almost like a Banjo-Kazooie situation. Hey, you got game over, so here's what would happen.
It's the darkest timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Which I will say I appreciate a game that does that, right? You got game over. Here's a fucking cutscene of the villain or whatever, the worst possible thing happening.
Ganondorf wins.
Yeah, you don't see that in Zelda, really. You get game over, it's just boom, game over. But Banjo-Kazooie shows you the whole transformation and everything. Right. I always appreciated that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the ending of the game, I got the best ending. Me and you both did. You just had to have the affinity meter up.
You just have to love her right. You just have to give her everything she deserves. She's a good girl. Sure. She's a good lady.
She deserves the world.
You just gotta.
But
you gotta appreciate Elena.
If you don't, you're a piece of shit. I'm gonna
really
tell you that right now. If you play this game and you don't fall in love with Elena, fuck you. I don't care. Stop listening to. Just turn the podcast off. Don't even play video games anymore. You don't deserve it. Fuck you. Alright?
You missed out on a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a relationship that'll never come back.
Alright. Noah, wherever you are, you can come back, by the way. If you're
That's all.
If you've zoned out. So man, it was cool. I really like the end of the game. So yeah, do you have anything to add? Anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to mention?
Let me just look at my notes real fast.
Okay, all right. Because
the last thing, the kind of little hiccup that this game had was that when I was playing on Wii U, this game would freeze at the Dawn Dust Towers.
On the
it would
Wii
just
U?
go into a total shutdown. I don't know if it happened on the Wii too. But...
I also believe it did. I also played on the Wii U, and I had this happen to me once.
Yeah.
And I noticed you link to a description of. It's a fucking stupid way to have to fix this problem. But...
Yeah, it's a really bad glitch that just freezes the game completely. You have to turn off the console. You have to unplug the console.
Yeah, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
You literally it completely freezes the whole entire console. You can't even hit home. You can't even shut it down. You have to unplug the fucking thing.
Yeah. Luckily it doesn't corrupt your save file, because if it did, I'd fucking rage. But yeah, and it has a really stupid workaround that people have somehow figured out. But we used that and we managed to get through the rest of the game. So
yeah, it was dumb. It was just the game was having it couldn't load a part of the Dawn and Dust Tower, and it only happened, I guess, in the North American version.
Oh really? Oh shit.
Yep.
Damn. That's why it took so long to come to America, so they can add fucking glitches.
Had a glitch, and they just nothing ever happened. They didn't release a patch or anything to fix it. There's workarounds for it, though. It's just a pain in the ass.
It's weird that it's just for the Wii U and not the Wii. Huh.
No, it's for. I believe it's for both versions.
Okay.
It's just the North American version of the game has that glitch.
Okay.
Yeah. This is weird.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. So, moving on. We're going to talk about whether or not we would recommend this game. I think if you've been listening to this podcast, you probably kind of already know where we're headed, but we're going to tell you anyway. Ilse, you picked this game. You played it. You beat it. Would you recommend it?
Yes, I would. This game is pretty dope. I think the gameplay's fun overall. The combat's a little hack and slashy, a little bland, but
Okay.
it's not really a combat heavy game. It's more of like puzzle dungeon exploration, and then also the character development is what you're really here for, and it's good storytelling. I mean, those two main characters, they really sell it. So yes.
Yeah, I agree. I just got a question for you though. So you played? Yeah, I know you played Xenoblade Chronicles. You love that game. Have you ever played The Lost Story?
No, not yet. But I own it.
All right. Okay, I do too. So maybe Game Club one day.
Oh, yeah.
Also have never played it. Bought it, never played it.
Yep.
So I wonder, because a lot of people say this is the worst of the Operation Rainfall games.
Yeah, but if this is the worst, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just wondering if you would say that is the worst if you had played them all, but you haven't yet. But so maybe one day we'll figure out which one is the best, which one's the worst. I mean, from general consensus, everybody says Xenoblade's the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I would recommend this game as well. Definitely, it's really cool. You know, it's an interesting game. It's not like the best RPG I ever played. Especially, I'll say, you level up in this game. I tell you, it doesn't fucking matter. Not one time did it was like, oh yeah, I leveled up. The only thing I was happy about happening I leveled up was that I get full health.
Yeah, it's the thing that mattered.
It would add more space to your inventory too.
That was handy.
Yeah, it had that
like,
weird Diablo like inventory.
Resident Evil 4
Yeah.
like inventory thing with a grid.
Yeah. So you have to actually every item actually has a size. So you have to micromanage like your space in your bag.
Well, it's weird because they have like rings, but they take up like a huge 6 slots for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
they're not proportional.
Yeah, I guess I guess they go by value.
It's based on the value of it. I don't know. It's Resident Evil 4 was always proportional to whatever it was. But anyway, we're getting way sidetracked with that. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say.
Are you gonna recommend it?
I would recommend this game. Oh. I definitely would. And I don't even know how the fuck I got on the topic of that.
Level up.
Leveling up. It's an RPG, but the RPG part does not fucking matter. It's more of just an action game, action puzzle dating simulator. But I will say, play this game for the story, and play this game for Elena.
Yes.
That's the reason you're gonna play this game. You're gonna play this game. You play it for her because she needs your help. So just do it for her. I want to make a poster like that Simpsons meme where it's you're here forever with the Maggie pictures where it says do it for her. I want that with Elena's pictures. Bunch of pictures of her, just hang it up at work. Do it for her. Noah, what about you? So you didn't finish the game, but
I definitely want to.
Would you still recommend it?
Yes, with an asterisk, because I definitely want to go back and play it and finish it. It was I like these kind of stories and the actual interaction with the characters. I really enjoy that in games, so this was a pleasant one. But I would only recommend it to people who enjoyed a story. If they're in it just to play a fun game, I don't think this would provide the actual experience they would be looking for in that case. So, if they like dungeon, like you guys mentioned, if you like dungeon exploration, or a story, a nice story, a love story, any kind of story, if they're into any stories at all, I would definitely recommend it 100%. If they don't care about story, then I might suggest some other game instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, the gameplay wasn't anything amazing to me, at least.
It's fun, but it's
good enough.
There's so many hack and slashers that just do the job better, Devil May Cry, God of War, every other game.
Oh, for sure.
It's
those are 1,000 times more fun, and they provide a completely different experience, granted. And the Pandora's Tale does grant an amazing, a really good story and experience. but it's just so vastly different, even though they're in the same genre. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they're in the same genre.
It's a hack and I mean, in terms of a hack and slasher.
Yeah,
it's more hack and slash than it is RPG, even though it's.
I mean,
it is an RPG,
in the combat, but not in the dungeon. Like,
I mean,
in the dungeon
with
design.
what was the game called? Darksiders? Is it Darksiders?
Yeah, it's sort of like that because that's like Zelda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like you have a lot of like environmental structure, but that still has better combat.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's a more apt
recommending
comparison,
Darksiders.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, recommend. I mean, I would. Of course, you'd recommend Darksiders over this. I feel like, but like, still, I don't know. It's still a game worth checking out
For sure.
But I understand what you mean though with your recommendation. So
cool.
Okay, well, fellas, time for the important part of the episode where we put Pandora's Tower on the list.
The list.
Ilse, you picked the game, so it's your turn. Where do you think it goes on the list, man? Start us off.
God damn. All right. I want it at above Winback.
I was literally looking right at number 50.
That's a good spot. I think that's a really good spot.
Do we want to go high?
That's definitely the area.
Yeah,
for sure.
Above Dragon?
I would put it a little, maybe one or two higher. I would put it like above Dragon Ball or Tennis Aces, but
Mario Tennis Aces is my stopping point for this, at least.
I'd
be willing to put it above Drill Dozer.
I'd be willing to put it above Fighters.
Okay, I haven't played Fighters or Drill Dozer, so I have to rely on you guys.
Well, you think? Well, so you stopped at Mystical Ninja though. Is there like a reason why you think maybe Mystical Ninja is better than this game?
No, not really.
No.
I just thought that was a reasonable place to put it.
Okay. I mean, I think Mystical Ninja is also a very good game, but I think that's weird. My mind is like, what? When I'm trying to think of like, oh, what's better, Mystical Ninja or Pandora's Tower? Like, what the fuck?
Two complete different experiences, like complete opposites.
It's like, weird.
I don't know if they're complete opposites. I mean, they have a similar dungeon structure.
Yes, I guess.
And the combat is also not a priority in both these games.
No, but it's like they both have dungeons, but like it's hard to explain. Like I would say Mystical Ninja is closer to Zelda dungeons than Pandora's Tower is.
Maybe.
Because
it depends
you
on
go
the Zelda,
in, there's multiple
like.
rooms, you have to find an item to go into another room, you get in that like a special item or upgrade to your inventory that you use throughout the game. Whereas Pandora's Tower is like, you have the chain, you learn new stuff, but like, you mainly use the chain the same way you would use it. Like, you use it to like throw items into the wall, so you create like a point where you can hook your chain to and things like that, swing around. Unless
for the most part, I agree. But I think Pandora's Tower is more puzzle oriented than Goemon.
Yep. Yeah, because Goemon doesn't really have puzzles. It's really just like defeat enemies, get keys, unlock doors, and that's like it. Where Pandora's Tower is,
it's like
it definitely has
the
more puzzles.
whole dungeon is one big puzzle.
Yeah, but the puzzles aren't really that complicated.
Yeah, they're not.
It's like a Zelda puzzle where it's just like pull a switch and get here fast enough for the fucking something.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like
I'm
uncomfortable calling them puzzles, but I don't know what else to call them.
yeah, it is weird because it's like, is it a puzzle if you just pull a switch and have to get somewhere before the fucking switch turns off? Like.
Right.
Or like just learning how to traverse that area.
Environment,
like climbing the clock tower. Like it's not really it's a puzzle on for the fact that you have to figure it out. But besides that, it's not really.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to call that.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll think of a name.
Well, yeah.
Do you guys? All right. So above Goemon, I haven't played Drill Dozer Fighters. Noah said he wanted above Drill Dozer at least.
Yeah.
Or at most, I guess.
Well, Drill Dozer was like very ambitious with his mechanics. Like Game Freak really like. Actually, they did a good job with the like exploring.
Drill Dozer's
Yeah,
really cool.
they
game.
did like really nice with the level design and everything. It's like introducing new mechanics every time. They do different things, even though you have the main thing is the drill. They always find clever ways to like implement more ways to use it to navigate through the stages and everything. So it's pretty fun. But
It's got fun graphics, good animation, really good.
there's a lot of
music.
charm to it.
Yeah.
Brandon, what do you think?
Man, it's tough, dude. You know what? I think
Maybe.
I think like under Drill Dozer above Mystical Ninja.
Yeah, I don't feel 100% comfortable with putting it above Drill Dozer because I haven't fully completed Pandora's Tower yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know about the ending you guys talked about
I mean,
earlier.
I've beaten both games,
but-
and
Go on.
Drill Dozer's good too, though. Yeah, I mean, Mystical Ninja is also good. I really like that game a lot.
Yeah, Mystical Ninja was fun. But it's like, again, it's like,
yeah.
you have a silly, goofy, fun, comical game on one hand, and then, like, a deep, loving, like, romantic
That's
story
why it's so
on the
weird
other.
to compare
Yeah.
them. I know they both have like Zelda-esque like elements to them, but like you look at Mystical Ninja and just like how it is presented with its comedy and shit, and then you look at this game and how depressing it is. It's so weird to like be talking about them both in the same
Yeah.
sentence.
Obviously, Pandora's Tower has a little bit of advantage because it's a Wii game, and the Mystical Ninja's an N64.
Well, sure, in
but
terms
yeah.
of graphics, but I try to leave graphics
Yeah.
out of this unless I'm like directly comparing two
Mystical
things on like
Ninja
the same
does have a-
console.
Good soundtrack, though.
God, that soundtrack is fucking banging.
Yeah.
I love it. Pandora's Tower, the music is.
It's fitting for what it's going
Okay.
for, but it's not as memorable.
You don't even really notice
Yeah.
it, other than that, like the main like dungeon music, and they use that theme in every fucking like when you first walk
Yeah.
into the dungeon, you hear this one theme,
Yeah, it's...
and you hear it every single time.
Yeah. But it fits, you know? It works well with what they did with the game, so...
I hate the fact that I had this conversation, and now I just feel like Ills had the right idea the whole time.
All right.
Like,
So above Goemon then. There we go.
Yep.
okay, all right, that sounds good. Above Goemon. All right, yeah. So that's gonna put it at. It's gonna put it like in the fucking game club zone.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, there's another game club zone like 5 steps lower than that. Oh yeah, you can follow the
There
pace bin. Follow along the list of pace bin.
God damn it. Fuck, we forgot to mention it. There's a paste bin in the description below that shows the list in its entirety if you want to follow along, which, you know, fuck, too late for that. But, you know, if you listen to this episode, you'll know about it next time. So, yeah, I'll say what games are around it right now. We mentioned it. Number 47 on the list is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Also was a Game Club game. This is the Game Club zone on the list. I don't know how. It's like right smack dab in the middle. We keep playing like 7 out of 10s. That's what we do around here. We play some good ass games, but they're not.
This is like 8 out of 10s. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay, all right. All right. You know, you're right. We're in the 8 out of 10 zone. Dragon Ball FighterZ though, that's number 47 on the list. Number 48, Drill Dozer, also a Game Club game. So check those episodes out. Number 49, Pandora's Tower. Welcome to the list. Number 57, Mystical Ninja, starring Goemon.
What, 57?
Also a Game Club game.
You mean 50?
Oh, number 50. What did I say?
57.
Oh, I don't know how. I can't count. And number 51, Wimback. Covert Operations, which we did not play for the Game Club, but we did play the sequel for the Game Club, Wimback 2.
We
which
did
is
play it
a
for
lot
the other
more.
Game Club.
We played it for a long last Game Club for a podcast that is dead.
Yep.
So, but we did play the sequel, which is much lower on the list at number 80. So, but if you're interested in Wimback, there's also Game Club for that. So there's Game Club for everything, man. That's what we do. There's just a lot of Game Club games. We play video games all the fucking time.
Hell yeah.
So that's the end of the list segment, and really the end of the podcast. But before we go, don't leave us just yet. We just want to make sure that we have a couple things, like what Game Club game we're going to be playing next, which we'll talk about in a second. But I got to get through the plugs here and just tell everybody that is listening that if you enjoyed listening to the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. We do the Jump Up Supercast every single week, uploaded on Monday, where we talk about video game news, what's going on in the world of games. We add a game to the list every week as well. There's a couple more gentlemen that join us. Will hosts the episodes. Saf's there sometimes, maybe not, who knows. Muzzy, in all of his fucking bastard ways, is also there. And then me and Ills are there too as well. Noah, he's a Game Club exclusive man, but he loves playing video games, so that's why he's here with us every Game Club episode. And yeah, every Game Club, every other Thursday we do the Game Club, so make sure to follow us and listen to us on just about everything. You can find us on SoundCloud. That's where I always upload on podcatchers and iTunes as well. So if you want to follow us on SoundCloud, also just check out iTunes and give us 5 stars. If you want to follow us on social media, you can as well. I'll always post when an episode goes up, so you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter. I also have an Instagram page as well, so I'll post that in the stories. Sometimes post like pictures of the games that we're playing, random things. So follow us on any social media you want. And we have a Twitch as well, twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast, where maybe some of the members will be playing video games. So if you want to hang out and talk to us, play video games, you can follow us on there as well. So thank you guys for listening. But before we leave, Noah, it is your turn, man.
It is.
You're gonna pick our game that we're gonna play next.
I am
so nervous.
why don't you tell everybody what game we're playing?
So I gave it some thought, and originally when the list was created, there was only 5 games to it that we ourselves didn't actually choose. We just put them as defaults, just to give it like a level of where to start placing these games. So, since we never actually got to play it, and I know Ills hasn't played one of them specifically.
Oh no!
I'm picking Metroid Other M as a GameCube game.
Oh
Oh god! So this is the first. Our next Game Club game is going to be a game that is already on the list.
Oh wow!
So this is definitely a first. We're playing a game on the list. We're not going to add a game to the list next week after we're done playing it. We're going to have to just re-rank it. Which,
shit.
if you follow the list at all, Noah tried to re-rank this game before on the first episode of Rankomania, and we didn't move it.
There were a lot of contradicting opinions here, and it's also a good chance to actually refresh ourselves, to actually see what the game is for what it is.
See, Noah loves this game. Well, really likes it at least, and you just want us to come at it with a fresh mind.
I am shocked.
It's been a long time since I played this game. Maybe my opinion's changed. And Ills, you've played this game?
I
Yes?
have. I
can't
played
remember.
like the first 5 minutes of it.
Well, you're gonna play the rest of it now.
You're not wrong.
and maybe Will. I don't know if Will's gonna be joining us next time, but the fellas are probably gonna be real mad, especially Muzzy, when we re-rank it, because he's not on the Game Club. But hey, if he wants to re-rank it, he better fucking get to playing it.
Or you could just wait till the next Rankomania.
Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks for time, and we're gonna talk about our time spent playing with Metroid Other M, also on the Wii. So 2 Wii games in a row. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Ills. Thank you, Noah, for joining and playing Pandora's Tower. Thank you, Ills, for picking that game. I was glad to play it.
Yeah.
I just want to say, everybody, go out there, play some video games, be nice, and have an awesome day.